And just like that, we have reached the final stretch of the Psosi bedroom art gallery tour. And if you're new here, I'm Psosi, your tour guide and the curator of this gallery. And so, yeah, I've already gone through the other walls of my bedroom, showcasing all the artwork that I've made and also the artwork that other people have made that are, contributed to what I'm calling this exhibition, even though it's really just my bedroom. But yeah, I'm excited to take you guys through the rest of the stuff that I have displayed. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Up first, we got this. This is not really like an actual like art piece, I guess. It was actually meant to be my, or actually it was my portfolio holder from middle school for my 7th grade art class. So we got to like decorate and design our portfolio. And so I decided to use marker to draw LaShawn McCoy. I don't know why in the world I had the Patriots logo here, especially being an Eagles fan, like that's crazy. But yeah, then the Ghana flag, being from Ghana, and then I have a basketball which I decided not to color for some reason. And then on the back we got LeBron James on the Heat. But yeah, so that was, let's see, 2000. That was 2013 that I made that. And actually, before I put this back up, we can move on to the next piece, which is this large poster painting here. And so I got this from a vacation Bible school back in elementary school. And I think it was 4th or 5th grade, so 2010, 2011. And so there was like a guy there that was basically telling the gospel story, but through painting. So he like live painted this in front of me and a bunch of other kids, just explaining, the story of Jesus from Adam and Eve to Jesus actually being born and then his death and resurrection. And so I thought it was pretty cool that the artist that made it allowed me to keep the poster. And so yeah, I've just had it hanging up for a minute. And then put this back. And then above that, we have this drawing that I made back in 7th grade as well. I'm not sure if there's a particular name for this type of art with like the overlapping circles and colors, but yeah, there's not too much to this piece. I think maybe the goal was to work with like complementary colors. I don't know, blue and green, and I guess, I don't know, is that maroon? But yeah. And then next to that, I have this recolored photo of my mom when she was younger. And so like the original photo was black and white, and then in Photoshop I made it colored. But as you can see, like it looks incredibly like, I guess like distorted now. And I think that's because it's been up for so, I think it's been up for like the past like 5 years or so. And I think like the light coming from outside on it like every day basically removed like a ton of the color. So that's why it looks super faded, but the digital version definitely looked a lot better. And then above that, I think it's just like a Bible verse from a Sunday school class, I think from elementary school. And over here we have this digital illustration of Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. This is definitely one of my favorite illustrations that I've done, at least for like football illustrations. This was part of my 32 for 32 NFL series where I illustrated a player from each NFL team. And there's so many details in here, like in his visor is the DeAndre Hopkins Hail Mary catch that Kyler threw. I did had some cool type exploration playing around with Arizona. And then I think, I want to say those are Chinese characters. That was from his Instagram bio. I think it means, I forget exactly what it means. And then his signature at the bottom. And then I really liked what I did here with, so he on his Instagram always talked about how like Bruce Lee was one of his biggest inspirations. So having like the Bruce Lee kick, spelling out Kyler, and then the number 1 instead of the L because that's his jersey number. And then we got like the cactus and kind of like the Arizona theme background. So I think I was able to just incorporate a lot of cool details to bring the whole piece together. And then this next piece was made in 2020 on Illustrator. This was a commission for one of my boys, and he just wanted like a cool poster that featured 2 of his favorite artists, Frank Ocean and A$AP Rocky. And for this illustration, it's pretty much my typical style, but it is a little bit different in terms of how I drew all the shapes and colors in the face. Like they're a lot more, I think, like sharp and jaggedy in a sense. Like if you look at the consistency, it's like slightly different than what you see here in terms of how I did the illustration. Like I guess it's like not as smooth, but yeah, this one was a fun one to make, playing around with the colors and composition. This next illustration I made in 2021, and it showcases all the 32 NFL players that I illustrated. So I mean, there's Kyler right there from this poster, and then all the other players I illustrated forming the NFL logo. A little bit of a closer look. And then we'll move back down here to this risograph poster. This was made in 2021 for my junior graphic design class as part of like a weekly experiment. So yeah, I think for this me and my like group members just had to make like a risograph print showcasing just like things that we either, I guess, like care about, or yeah, I guess like just things that we care about. So there's like the skeleton shape, and then I did this riso print incorrectly. As you can see, there's like a bunch of grid lines because I accidentally like scanned the grid lines, like the guidelines that are on top of the scanner rather, and I accidentally showcased them in the final print. Or I accidentally scanned them onto my final print, so it's not, those guidelines are not supposed to be there. And then in terms of the stuff that I have that I like, football obviously, basketball, my Wacom tablet, which I use for all my illustrations, got some headphones here, I guess this was before I started using AirPods, and my camera, or a camera, not mine specifically. Oh wait, no, that's the same model, the EOS Rebel, or that was the old camera that I have. Right now I have a Canon R6 Mark II, and then Winnie the Pooh. For some reason, yeah, it's just always been one of my favorite characters. And then up next is one of my, what I would consider one of my masterpieces. It is this Gunna painting, which I've titled Mona Lisa, or I guess you could also call it Gunna Lisa. Yeah, to play off of a painting we're all familiar with, the Mona Lisa. And so this was a commission actually for my same friend that I did the A$AP and Frank poster for. He is the one that suggested the Gunna x Mona Lisa idea, and this is how I executed it, and honestly super happy with how it turned out. This was made on Procreate, so this would be the second piece in the gallery that I'm showing that was made on Procreate. So it's a digital painting, and I made this back in 2022. So I want to show some of the details down here that were being covered. We got the jewelry on the hand and everything. But yeah, this was definitely a super fun piece to put together. Definitely out of like everything I've created, this is an all-time favorite. And right next to this portrait of Gunna, here is a self-portrait that I made back in 2018. And so this was for my graphic design class, and we were tasked to create an illustration using a watercolor technique. So that meant that all like the shapes of color were kind of different transparencies, which you can kind of see here. And yeah, this portrait ended up winning a congressional art competition. So ended up winning like first place in computer generated art, which was super cool. And that was like my first, I guess, like art award, and it definitely gave me like a lot of confidence and was part of what pushed me to continue pursuing graphic design. So yeah, this is definitely a piece that I hold very near and dear. Right below this piece, we have this another self-portrait, which I painted in 2019 using oil paint. And so this was for my foundation painting class. And yeah, for this portrait, we had to paint ourselves while looking at a mirror. So that was like the first time I'd ever really done like a portrait like that, like a live portrait painting, not from just like a reference image. So it was a little bit difficult to paint in this way, but yeah, I don't mind it. I feel like, I mean, it's not like the most realistic painting, but I feel like it captures the essence of myself. And then I ended up, this was not originally part of the painting, but I got this fortune from a fortune cookie that says, "Every job is a self-portrait of the person who did it. Autograph your work with excellence." And I think that's just, I mean, that goes very well with a paired with a self-portrait. And that quote, I think, also is just something very important to keep in mind, that like whatever you do, like you never know who's watching. So like you should always do everything with excellence. And then above that, we have this illustration, which is also probably one of the craziest illustrations I've ever done. And this is an illustration that I made back in 2020 of Alvin Kamara on the Saints, and the reference, and it's a reference to Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon album 2, the album cover. And so yeah, I was inspired by the album cover and decided to recreate my own version of it, but with Alvin Kamara, who, like, at the time that I made this portrait, was just coming off a crazy game where he scored 6 touchdowns. And so I felt it was appropriate to kind of have him be the subject. And yeah, there's just, this was one of the pieces that took the longest. Like, there's so many little individual shapes that I had to draw. And yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Definitely one of the cooler pieces that I've ever illustrated. At the very top, we have this poster that I made. As you can see, it says 2018. So yeah, I made this in Adobe Illustrator in the summer of 2018 when I went to the Tyler School of Art graphic design camp. And so this features myself in the red and camouflage shorts, and also my classmates. And then in the blue shirt next to me was our instructor, Nat Bard. Shout out to Nat. He's the man. But yeah, and then as you can see, there's like one individual that kind of fell out of the frame. She went by Red. She was quite the character, which is why she's the only person like falling out of the frame, because she was really goofy, not gonna lie. And then right next to that, I have one of my best colored pencil drawings that I've ever done, which is of Travis Scott. Made this back in 2018. It was a commission. But yeah, let's get into the details. The chain, face, everything. Yeah, pretty proud of how that one came out. This is actually, I mean, if you watched the first video in the gallery tour, you're like, well, we've already seen Rihanna. And that's because that the Rihanna print that is on this wall is actually a print, and this is the original drawing. So yeah, that's the reason why I have 2 different Rihanna drawings. And we are now back down to the floor level, where we will be looking at this piece here. This is a school calendar from 6th grade, and so I think each month they just selected like some different artwork from students to display as the calendar image. And so yeah, obviously I drew the football player here, Deshaun Jackson. And let's see if we can zoom in on the names of the other artists. And then right next to this poster, we have this Giannis poster. I think this was around the time that they were in the finals, so I forget if I made this before or after they won. But yeah, if you follow basketball, you follow Giannis, you know, he's known as the Greek freak. So I went all in on that theme with this illustration, made it in Adobe Illustrator. And so, you know, we got like a little Greek column here, and then Greek freak and kind of like a Greek font. And then he's wearing, honestly, I really hope this is like historically accurate in terms of the dressing. Yeah, he's got the mask, like kind of like the warrior mask, sword, armor, all that stuff. But yeah, I think I really like how this piece came out in terms of like the colors. I feel like it's just like really well balanced with the colors and also the composition and everything. And I feel like it's super like engaging. And then we actually have another art piece that is hidden. Ooh, let's see. Here is a photograph of Muhammad Ali, and I got this poster, I think, back in, I want to say 2021 at a poster sale, the same poster sale that I actually got this Kobe poster from. And the photo was taken by Flip Schulk for Life magazine. And at first, he actually was attempting to take the photos for Sports Illustrated, but they thought he was crazy for taking, you know, photos of a boxer underwater. And then so he pitched it to Life magazine. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Like, this is going to be, you know, a cool thing to publish. So close that. And then we have arrived at the final piece of the Psosi Bedroom Art Gallery tour. And it is this photograph taken by my boy, Aaron. I just like bought this print off of him because he was selling prints of some of his photography work, and I thought it was like a cool photo. If I remember correctly, he said that he was just photographing like this guy, and then the kids in the back wanted to be a part of the shoot, and then so he came up with this composition. And this kid right here on the left actually like reminds me of one of my boys. So like every time that I look at it, I'm like, oh shoot, there's Jalen. But yeah, that's it. Guys, I actually forgot to highlight this piece of the exhibition. This is a sculpture I made in 4th grade, so 2010, of I guess an Eagles player. But yeah, it's made out of straws, beads, and clay, I guess. I don't really know what material that is, but yeah, I think this is like the only sculptural piece in the exhibition. And just like that, we've made it back to the entrance, which means that the Psosi Bedroom Art Gallery tour is officially concluded. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me as I went through all the different work that exists on these 4 walls. And yeah, it was a lot of fun just going through everything and talking about, you know, the work and where it came from and the context behind it and all that. And yeah, I hope that you're feeling, you know, if you're creative, I hope you're feeling like, you know, excited and energized and, you know, going out and creating your own stuff. Or even if you're not a creative, I hope you're able to, you know, appreciate all, you know, the different work that was shown. If you haven't seen my previous videos that showcase the other parts of the exhibition, feel free to check them out. They will be linked in the description. And with that being said, I have a pretty big announcement for you guys. I think I gotta sit down for this one. This is actually gonna be my last video in my room in the Psosi studio for quite some time. I just recently got a new job and will be relocating to New York City. So by the time you see this video, I will already be there, and will be, you know, all my new content will be kind of from, you know, a different environment, a different place. So yeah, gonna miss creating in this space, but obviously Psosi Studio is not tied down to a specific location. Wherever we go, wherever the creativity is, that's where we will be, and that's where we will create. So yeah, with that being said, thank you again for tuning in. And like I always say on this channel, we like to highlight and talk all things creative. Make sure to stay tuned for whatever happens in New York. And with that being said, much love, ate sway, and remember to stay fresh and stay furta.